Binge Town, how we feeling today? It's your boy Dave, and I am joined by the OG anime squad of Alki and Kyle. Today, we are continuing our coverage of Korea's hit webtoon anime adaptation Solo Leveling with episodes 2 and 3 today, titled If I Had One More Chance, and It's Like a Game. Really, not much to say at the start of this recording, besides I freaking love this anime. These two episodes just give us the full backstory, pretty much, of our MC Sung Jin Woo, and I think everything going forward, the hype levels are going to be insane. So, just I guess quick thoughts on these two episodes, Kyle and Alki. Whoever wants to start first.
I think that they were paced probably about the way I expected. I think they gave people two cliffhangers, very big cliffhangers, but kind of almost in different ways. Episode two cliffhanger was huge. I
Hmm.
was watching a lot of reactions and people were like leading up to it, it's like obviously he's not gonna die. So like what the world's gonna happen? And then the game screen comes up, and then this one people want now to see him fight so badly, and they give us like the smallest little tease of it.
Yep.
So I think they're doing a good job in terms of like the pacing of things. Obviously, I think we're anxious to like really get into
Oh
it.
yeah.
So, but I think that like you're saying, I think episode 4, 5, 6, like it's a ball rolling down a hill, and you can't stop it at this point.
I also agree that the pacing seems pretty good. I have no real gripes with that. I loved the grin of the big statue in the second episode. I was really looking forward to that from the first episode. And the third episode of the series was, an entertaining way to unravel his new powers. It was cool. It's seems like it's something that only he knows about so far, and I'm excited to see, how he develops this newfound ability.
Yeah. And I like that you guys are bringing up the pacing because I remember being very hype about back in the day the webtoon anime adaptation of God of High School. That was one that we were all personally really looking forward to. It came out and it wasn't anything like the webtoon or manga adaptation. It was just so fast paced. But
Fast, yeah.
yeah, this one is sticking with it. It's very one to one almost, maybe a couple things extra that we haven't gotten in the manga, but I'm not going to complain. I think more content is the better.
I have one complaint. It's going to be 12 episodes.
Oh yeah, I forgot to
That's
mention
fucking
that.
stupid.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that at the
Wow.
start too. That is only going to be 12 episodes. So I honestly don't even know where this is going to end. I imagine he'll be pretty powered up at that point in time, but it's just yeah, it's such a shame to see 12 episodes rather than your 24, 25 kind of numbers.
I think was got a high school 12 or 24.
12.
Okay, well, they're probably just testing the waters because it's not your typical adaptation, I guess, since it's from a webtoon. I
Mhm.
don't think it should be that much of a difference. Like, Solo Leveling's popular enough. It's obviously been pretty hype. I guess they're trying to feel out how many like new watchers will actually watch it. I don't know. What can I say? 12
They
episodes not
probably
enough.
they probably identified a part in the story that felt like a good season one ending, not wanting to maybe put like commit to 24 episodes from like the animators side of things. I mean, obviously we covered JJK, we had a whole discussion about kind of workload and what that does. So I mean, yeah, maybe it might end up just being a very smart business decision that we on the other end just kind of have to
I'm
quote
worried.
unquote deal with, because I
I'm
mean 12 episodes are still going to be good, but
It makes sense why they're bringing Che into it if it's only going to be 12 episodes, I guess.
well,
And
it's also they're adapting the light novel. So like she is
yeah.
introduced this early in the light novel, apparently. Not that I know, but
Mhm.
what I
So
read online.
for all you listeners and watchers out there, I did not read the light
Oh
novel
yeah,
like
you
I
said you were gonna read
promised
the whole thing.
because dude, honestly, it's like the webtoon sways better, so I don't even I'll give it another shot. How about that?
And just for the people out there listening, just going to recap that us three, have all read the manhwa, but we're going to keep the discussions spoiler free. If we feel like it at the end of this episode, like we did in episode one, we might have a spoiler filled discussion with for like 5 minutes. If you want to hang around, if you've read with us and want to listen to those thoughts, we may have one at the end. We'll see how this conversation goes, but let's just open this up. We're gonna open up still completely in the shit. We're just gonna recap the commandments of the Kartanon Temple. It's revere God, praise God, and prove your worth to God. Early on, Mr. Song says that he's been in a lot of B rank dungeons, fought a lot of B rank bosses. This one is easily S tier, pretty much. So we kind of get the
Yeah, I love how he questions like, "This is A rank. Oh no, maybe S rank." It's like it's obviously S
Yeah.
rank. Like there should
and the
be no
power that gets
question.
displayed here after the first commandment we get covered definitely should show immediately with the S rank. But just also real quickly, we want to bring up that we get a little bit more backstory into the world itself. It was 10 years ago. I think we were having a small discussion in this
Mhm.
on this in the last episode. It gets immediately answered here. It's 10 years ago when Gates appeared. That connected the world that they're in to an altered dimension, which gave rise to a number of like supernatural phenomena happening, aka hunters appearing, the eternal rest, which we'll get into a little bit too. But we also again get a confirmation of a discussion that we were talking about in the last episode of once a hunter is assigned their power, it can never be changed. So just hammering that home here. But then we get the first commandment. So Sung recognizes that the first commandment is revere. Sorry, I already forget it. It was revere God, and he kind of deduces that they all need to pray in order for them to escape. One idiot tries to kind of run away,
I
and
love that you say that because my comment is that would totally be you.
yeah,
Like you would be like, I'm not supposed to die here. Like my speed, I trust it, and then just get zapped out of existence like that.
Damn, Kyle, bro.
yeah, no faith in me.
I mean, I have faith in your self confidence. You believe in yourself.
But it's just crazy to see the power level of this because this guy truly believed that he was one of the fastest human beings and had full faith in his speed, and he just gets disintegrated in a matter of seconds, which pretty much lends the discussion that this is just immediately an S tier. If a B rank dungeon guy or whatever this guy's rank was just evaporated, then they're just in the shit.
Yeah, he honestly, like looking forward, he probably had it the easiest.
Yeah, honestly, that was probably the best way. Right, I wouldn't want to get split in half like that one dude,
Yeah,
and the
I
other
wouldn't want to get
dude.
stomped on.
Yeah, nah, yeah, you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. This is definitely the quickest way of
Yes.
death here.
Instantaneous. Yeah. So I mean, he got his speedy death for his lackluster speed.
But after completing part one of the commandment, which is to bow your head, um, we get the ghastly smile. That's the
Oh
iconic
yeah.
smile from the manhwa that Alki, I think, wanted the episode one to end on that smile. Which, after rewatching episode two, I totally agree with you. I feel like that
Would
would
have
have
been
been
sick.
yeah, it would have been a great spot to just end the episode.
Well, whatever. It ended fine.
Oh yeah, I mean, it ended in another iconic way. So
Yeah.
not to complain too much.
Yeah.
They get the second commandment in, which is praising God. This one random dude decides to start uttering some prayers toward
Yeah.
this God, and whoopsie daisy, it's not the right God.
Yeah. His
This
song is just like, oh no, oh no, oh
See,
no.
I will admit that would have been me.
yeah,
Trying to get on your knees and praying like that.
I would have been like praying in Greek and shit.
yeah. This guy gets crushed, just absolutely crushed. No hope for him, and yeah, this them bowing triggers the giant statue to get up from the chair that he was sitting in constantly, walk around, start crushing them one by one. Who else but Sung Jin Woo kind of determines that they need to head to the statues with instruments that are laid out around the room rather than the ones with weapons. We obviously see one guy appear in front of the weapons knights statues and split in half. Of course, he's a father.
Was this one revere or worship?
This one was
I think this
praise. They're still on praise God, and them praising God is them going to the instruments and singing a song.
This is the second commandment, though.
Yeah, they're on the second commandment,
Yeah.
correct,
So the first one was revere.
which is bow,
Revere.
which triggers the second, or sorry, revere God, which triggers the first stage, and then you got to go to the instruments here.
It was funny watching people react to this episode and in this commandment, them being like, I'm getting such Attack on Titan flashbacks.
Yeah,
Like the one girl just is stuck there and it just like, she's so scared she can't move and she gets like squelched and they like show us the beginning of her. Like we get the side angle and we're like starting to get squelched. And I was like, damn, okay, they're really going all out. And then it just flashes to just, Park, whatever. The guy who just was about to become or have his second child rather gets cut in half. The other guy gets his arm cut off and then cut in half, and it's just they're all just screaming and running. And I watched so many reactions, and almost all of them were like, this is literally straight Attack on Titan vibes.
They could have easily censored all of the gruesomeness of everything too, but I'm glad that they chose not to and just keep that in because it adds that extra layer of fear and just knowing that it gives you that real visual of, oh shit, things are going so wrong for everybody. So I just love that they decided to keep that in and they didn't feel the need to just hide that kind of stuff from us. So
Yeah, no, for sure. And this, I mean, this command too gives us like Sung is a hero.
yeah,
You
so
know, you're
Sung,
saying he's figuring it out, all that kind of stuff.
yep. So Sung takes Juhi to one of the instruments. However, it doesn't activate since they're both there. It's only one per person. And then this is where things start to go wrong for Sung. And he, like Kyle was saying, kind of takes on that hero role. At the
Easy.
cost of reaching another statue, he's lost his own leg. It gets completely crushed or sliced off by something in that room. And
They
our
did it
boy
in a
is
good way
down
too.
bad.
They did it in a good way where it's like kind of like you can tell maybe something's wrong, but like again, watching people react, everyone was like, well, he's the main character, so like there's a certain level of plot armor here, so it's whatever. And then his leg is gone, and they were like, oh shit, okay, like is our main character now just gonna be like
Just
a
one
one-legged
leg.
guy?
Yep.
Yeah, it was like, okay, wow, where is this going?
I think Juhi, I thought it was kind of funny though. Juhi like runs up to him and is like in his face and then realizes he's lost his leg, where instead of her just noticing it while running up, I
The
just thought that
blood
was funny.
everywhere, like
Yeah.
drug himself, just this whole like snail trail line. Of
She has to
his
get like
leg.
real close for her to be able to realize, oh my God, he's lost a
Yeah.
leg.
It's hard to
I
judge, I guess.
Yeah.
I wonder if there are healers who are capable of restoring like amputated
I think they've said,
legs or arms.
I think there probably are. I'm guessing if you're like S tier, you might
Yeah.
be
That
able
sounds
to.
nice, too.
I mean,
She's
I
B, which is not nothing to scoff at. She was,
Spoiler
like,
alert for
struggling.
anybody who has not is only tuning in for the episode 2 for any reason. Obviously, we see his legs get regenerated. It's just like,
Mhm.
but that was because of. I think it's easy to assume it's because of his like newfound ability.
That's right.
I wonder. I would like. It would be just that'd be glitch is all.
I
As
feel-
like a watcher.
I mean, this might enter spoiler territory, so keep fast forwarding if you're wanting to skip this part. But I think the healer in the beginning in that ant raid on Jeju Island,
Oh,
the S rank,
I think you're
I'm
right.
fairly certain that in the manhwa it gets mentioned or it's like a flashback that we see him, I think, actually restore someone's like arm or leg, but
Well,
it takes a lot of like his mana, I'm pretty sure.
feel like-
And weren't the people that he restored like they were like
Well,
they
the one
were
dude
im-
is 100%
they were impaled.
S-rated.
Yeah,
Definitely.
they were like impaled.
I'm trying to remember, too. I feel like it might have been more along the lines, like, he couldn't just, like, grow you a new one. He could, like, reattach it to you.
You might be right.
Oh, that might be it. Yeah.
Type of deal.
Like as long
Yeah.
like the arm still has to be salvageable.
Yeah, like
in
his
order to
leg, just he being Sung, his leg's on the ground. I feel like could pick it up and
just carry it around with him and just like
just like
attach
put it
this at
back,
some
yeah.
point. Yeah.
and then heal that part of it. Yeah, I feel like being an S-rank healer would be sick, just in the sense that you probably make so much money. You're probably in such high
Yeah,
demand.
that well, it would
Oh
be
my God.
probably outside of being like a juggernaut. I mean, even arguably better than in
Yeah.
real world application. Like being an S rank healer is probably fucking sick. You could cure disease.
You just have
Yeah.
so much of the world at your fingertips. Like
Yeah,
people will
it'd be
just
so
do
cool.
anything for you, anything for you.
Be
Um,
badass.
but our group catches a break a little bit here. They have to complete the third part of the commandments. The third part is to prove their faith, and a sacrificial altar appears. They just immediately kind of assume what they need to do, and one of the guys forces Mr. Song to volunteer for the altar. Mr. Song, I mean, obviously he doesn't really say no because he kind of understands what he's done for the group and how he's got them here. I mean, obviously we've all said on the last episode, like it's not one person's fault. It's whoever voted yes is at fault here. So I mean,
Mr. Sung's just a good guy.
yeah, I mean, sure, he was being a little greedy, but like, how could any of them known what they were going to get into opening this door? You know, there's just no way. But anyway, he does go to the altar, but nothing really happens. Instead, two sets of flames appear. One is a timer, and then one is a counter. Sung Jin Woo determines, as usual, that
Yeah, legend.
everyone needs to get into the circle of the altar for it to trigger. Once everyone enters the circle, the exit opens up, and the statues start to close in on the group. and I just keep saying this over and over again, our main character just determines the plan here. He sees that the statues will freeze if you look at them, but one person decides to make a run for the exit, and there's no consequences for that person leaving. So that
Yeah.
puts the rest of the group at a little bit of a conundrum. But they
Yeah.
eventually do start to leave one by one, and each time someone leaves, the door closes a little bit more. Sung is convinced that they need to hang out and survive the timer.
Hang out. Yeah, let's chill, guys.
He's
Just kidding.
convinced, but they're not going to listen. They see everyone running away, and we just get down to our three. But I mean, you can't blame anyone for running. I mean, once that
No.
first
No.
person leaves and you see that there's no issues at all, why would
Would
you?
you
What's the?
run?
I mean, yes, if I didn't know the outcome of staying,
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
I'm sorry, Song, I'd have to leave. I just feel like,
that's tough. I love how the like one of the first two people to leave are the people that are carrying him.
yeah, they're just like, sit your ass down.
The guy apologizes and then just like kind of dumps him on the ground. It's like adios.
I just, again, I can't
Yeah,
blame
it's tough.
anybody here. I
Yeah.
mean,
Especially that last guy who leaves and he's like literally crying. He's like, I feel so bad, but I have a family. Like I literally need to get out of here.
yeah.
Which is fair.
And then they're screwed once I think the second person leaves. I think then once the second person leaves, there's more statues than there are eyes for the statues to keep them in place. And now they're each kind of looking one more than one at a time down at it, and it's just not
Yeah. And then
doing anything.
Juhi's not really cooperating that much either. So that's obviously speeding up the time a little bit where they're coming in closer and closer. And I love how, I mean, Mr. Sung obviously doesn't realize it at the time, but he's like, saying this to Juhi, like, take Sung, get out of here. You know, I got you guys in here. I'll take responsibility or whatever. And then her legs don't work. So then it's like, okay, well, it just pretty much condemns Sung to death right there because he only has one leg.
Of course, they make it so that she just can't even use her legs. She's the one capable person left of
Yeah.
walking, and of course, they just have to throw that little wrench in there that she
Been
can't use her legs.
crazy if they left her there.
And then
If
it's
Mr. Sung
Mr.
just picked up,
Song's story.
just picked him up and was like, all right, later.
They should have a what if for this anime. Just what happens
Imagine
if
her and then her getting the fucking power.
yeah,
would be
Juhi stays
crazy.
behind in this situation.
Oh my god. Combo with the heal power she already had. That would actually be insane.
But yeah, Sung is forced to stay behind since he has no right leg. Mr. Sung knocks out Juhi in order to carry her out, and our main character is met with a gruesome barrage of attacks, which I think one takes his arm. He's definitely ripped his insides are definitely ripped to
Yeah.
shreds. We're left to believe that his life is taken, and yeah, that's the story of Solo Leveling. It just comes to an end here. There's nothing left. But no,
Yeah,
we get
I
the
saw
notification
so many
screen.
reactors that were just watching this happen and being like people that had said obviously, you know, main character has got plot armor and just being like, what the
Yeah,
fuck
what
is
plot armor are
going
you
on?
talking about?
Yeah, yeah, just like what could possibly happen that would make all of this kind of almost like a moot point. But
I just can't wait for those people to see what's to come.
I know
It's
it's
just
so
we're
great.
we're just scratching at the surface here.
I was really proud of Sung Jin Woo in these moments, you know, because he obviously is basically a nobody, and he pulled through for the group and was even willing to sacrifice himself despite his situation.
And
Yeah.
the passion too. I feel like you could tell that there is this like kind of burning, I don't want to say burning desire inside of him, but before I feel like they've only shown him he's just kind of like oh shucks, like rubbing his head kind of guy, like sorry for being
Yeah, he's got
useless and hurt.
soul.
And then now, you know, he's getting to when he's getting fucking hacked apart when he's like, you know, all these fucking selfish people, like they always win. Like I have a family too. He's getting all pissed and stuff. So that was,
Right.
the voice actor was going nuts. That was fucking, it was crazy. This was a great end of the episode.
Goat.
Yeah, he fucking gets destroyed here, and I always thought the touch in the manhwa when it's him literally just getting thrown onto the altar was just always so like condemning.
Impactful.
Yeah, and impactful. And I like how they recreated it here. It's like him just literally skewered and just getting yeeted onto that
Yeah.
altar.
So much blood flowed over the edge. It's just like, yeah.
But the notification screen pops up, and with it, a series of text box that say the secret quest, courage of the weak. You have acquired the qualifications to be a player. Your heart will stop in 2/100ths of a second. If you choose not to accept, will you accept? Got to be a fat yes all day. I mean, I'm taking all of that damage if it gets me these powers to come.
Yeah, I can't even imagine hesitating.
Oh,
Especially he's literally bleeding everywhere. He has 2 limbs left.
take all of my limbs, gut me if you
Yeah.
need to. I'll whatever it
Do you
needs
think,
to happen.
You think
Yeah.
going into it, like, you would accept the knowledge that that's going to happen for the end?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh.
100% of the time. It would be the worst thing ever, but
I
absolutely.
guess, but holy shit, I just don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, but what if the stipulation's like you need to survive that?
I mean, it
Oh,
pretty
I
much
guess,
was.
yeah.
He literally needed to
You're
wait
right.
until the
Yeah.
blue flame timer went out.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Well, you're exactly. That's
Yeah,
hard.
You're right.
yeah.
I don't know if I have that kind of
You
willpower.
Stung
just
Jin.
convinced, like, all right.
What? What? Convinced what?
If you could have just convinced people to stay a little longer too, you would have been all right. So if
I
you were
wonder what
more
happened.
Yeah, I also
persuasive-
wonder. I
If
also
two people
wonder-
stayed. I was just gonna say
Exactly.
that.
That's another thing that because if he had actually gotten through to everyone and all 6 of them stayed, what happens? Or maybe, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I know this is like for the story. I feel like there's once the first person left and they saw the door like close, like they probably could have figured like let's just stay. So far, everything else has worked.
Mhm.
Like we have enough eyes to keep eyes on the statues. Whatever. I mean,
Yeah,
It's-
it's also. I mean, it's the
It's
whole
a
commandment is
cartoon.
like prove that you believe in God. And
right. That
everyone
was the thing.
left-
Test your faith. Right.
Yeah,
That's what the
because
whole
they
thing
didn't.
was.
Yeah, they didn't believe.
They didn't test their faith, dude. They're gonna go to hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what an ending to episode 2. Yeah, for those first time watchers, I just give me more. And as,
Well, that's-
someone who's read it, give me more.
Yeah, I mean that's why we're doing them 2 at a time. We can just roll right into fucking get
Yeah.
to talk about the next part of it. Because
This was great about JJK, definitely.
yeah,
Episode 3 opens with Sung Jin Woo awaking in the hospital with all of his limbs intact. Immediately, for some weird reason, as soon as he wakes up, coincidentally, he's greeted by Woo Jin Chul, who's the
legend.
manager of the Hunters Association's surveillance team. Audience, you'll want to definitely write that name down. I'm probably just call him Woo. Meet the Woo, baby.
yeah, meet the woo, dude. That should have been the name of this episode, dude.
Oh
Meet
shit.
the woo.
Yep. He's gonna be one of
Baby, welcome to the party.
he's gonna help.
Huh?
He's gonna be our boy going forward for sure. And he's also with a man named Kang Tae
It's
Shik.
actually banging.
Who looks like Megami, but whatever.
The pointed hair. If it was just like black haired rather than purple,
Yeah.
they
Well, we
tell.
do, and this is like a great information where I could also see people being, I don't want to say upset that we know this and that this is the thing, but like the whole double awakening thing.
Yeah, I
'Cause I feel like they
it's a
literally
fine
just
touch.
told us that
Yeah.
it can't happen, and then the next episode it's like, okay, we lied, kind of like it can happen type of deal. But I didn't
Yeah.
give a fuck. I could just see people.
You're right.
I was confused by that as well. I forgot that it was even a thing. I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Who cares?
I was watching the Legend AO Laxzone, and
Yeah.
he was like, they were talking about it, and he goes, they're teasing us. Like, there's no way that this is actually happening. Like, they're talking way too much about it. And then he gets the reading that's 10. And we talked about it, I think last episode, wondering about like how you get ranked and things like that. And I had forgotten almost that mana was like a concept
Mhm.
in the world. So that was good too, that they told us that you had to have like a mana ranking, and mana is like a force, a concept, a substance
Mhm.
out in
I
the
think
world.
it's so interesting that you pronounce it mana. I've always said it in my mind's eye as mana.
I always forget because whenever I hear someone say it, I just kind of lash myself
Agree with
onto
them.
that. saying- yeah, I genuinely
I
love
always
it.
say mana.
I might say mana. I think.
Mana's like saying like manga.
or manga.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually funny.
But yeah, they come in, just tell Sung that he's been asleep for 3 days. There were only 6 survivors. Of 2 of the survivors, Mr. Song, he's going to retire. He's pretty much useless with one arm. And Juhi is traumatized to the point where she is also probably just going to retire, just never see a dungeon again in her life, which who can blame her? I mean, she
Yeah,
watched
fair.
about, I forget what the number was, maybe 12 people just get absolutely slaughtered. So
And again, like
real world.
It's not like she's retiring from being a hunter, but she's not retiring from having healing powers.
Mhm.
So
She
like
can
she can
still be
just have
useful.
a life. Yeah, exactly.
Be a great doctor, that's for sure. With
Oh, for
no
sure.
credentials, just coming in
Yeah,
here.
yeah. I can't diagnose you, but I can heal you. Like I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you, but I can get it popping.
But yeah, they continue to talk about the situation and the scenario that just occurred. These situations where an entire raid gets wiped are generally very, very rare. It doesn't happen all that often. So when it does happen, these bigger guilds kind of have to investigate the situation. And so in this instance, there's the White Tiger Guild that arrived and found Sung just laying on the ground, limbs intact too. And there was no signs of this door and dungeon that everyone was so afraid of and what everyone was talking about, which very interesting that it just kind of disappeared into thin air like that. And
Well, they all do, right?
well,
Yeah, but
everyone runs away, but like the door, I think what happens is just like the room and the door just evaporate, and Sung is just laying on this ground that used to be the room, but it's not anymore.
Right. Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Well,
because
but also
the
he.
original dungeon is still there.
Correct. Yeah.
Are you
If
sure it
that's
doesn't get cleared when it's cleared? Doesn't it disappear?
Yeah, but they go into it, they say though. Like Sung, I guess it doesn't close until everyone's out of it. Maybe I don't know, or maybe it does. Maybe if they get clear the dungeon, it doesn't close right away. Maybe it still just waits the 7 days and then closes. But
So
either
you're
way,
saying Wu was like we weren't able to explore the second dungeon?
yeah, they didn't. They had Wu
Oh,
had no idea that thing
I
even
guess
existed.
I
It's just
knew
it's also
I understood that way, but I also understood. I was also understanding that like the dungeon in general was gone by that
oh no, no,
point.
no. I think they found him in the dungeon,
yeah, in
the
the
first part of
original.
the dungeon. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
it's still there.
but this is where they talk about the second awakening, which Sung kind of cheekily is like, "Oh, newfound
Yeah, could
power,
be, could
maybe."
be, could be.
Goes up to the machine, he gets a score of 10, which I wish they incorporated this more. I'm just gonna say it for all the first time listeners. They're never gonna ever talk about this power machine ever again. It would be nice to be able to go around to each person and just kind of know what their power level is.
It's
And
like
Sung's
Dragon Ball Z though.
yeah, they do it here and then it's never brought up again. So Sung is a 10, and they say here most E ranks are above 70. So that even doubling down on how
Scrub.
fucking weak he is. Yeah, it's crazy. But
Yeah,
Weak ass.
yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be cool though, just to know the power level of him by the end. It would be so badass.
it's fair, but it again, it becomes so irrelevant almost because
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
just
at
like
this,
Dragon Ball Z, like everyone stops giving a
yeah,
fuck.
when 9,000 used to be considered like very high, and
That
it's
reminds me of Seven Deadly Sins. There was like
oh yeah,
power
I
scales
think they
and
still kept up with it
they
though.
did, but I thought it was stupid.
Yeah, I
I'll
mean,
be honest. I
I
thought it was
personally always
stupid.
like it, but I think you're right. Power scales are generally pretty stupid for shows, I think in general.
It's just like stupid,
It's
like
just
the
hard to
big
yeah to
ass.
keep consistent over time. It's just kind of
Like I think of Escanor and his fight.
Yeah, it was like
yeah,
uh
that was great.
Meliodas is thinking about the number and it's like it's only going up and everyone's worried but it's the enemy, but it's actually
Right.
yeah, our boy.
Like I think it's enough to like sense power. I don't think you really need to and auras. I don't really think there needs to be a numerical value to powers, unless it's over 9,000.
That is fair. That is fair.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, Sung is still seeing the notification screen. And apparently others cannot see it as his sister also comes in and cannot see the screen and she quickly visits him. But he opens the notification box for the first time for just more notification boxes to appear. The system is they're reading the system is designed to assist in the development of the player. Failure to comply with the system may result in a penalty and the rewards have been delivered. So about a lot of screens going on here, and he gets another one immediately after that says a new daily quest. Then the words strength training appear on the screen, and he needs to complete a list of exercises, and failure to do so will result in a punishment. And
And he
did
fails.
you guys recognize those exercises?
were they exactly
Yes.
One Punch Man's?
Yes. So the funniest
Are they
comment, the
actually?
funniest comment was like, damn, it's like all he was. Thank God he got to keep his hair or something like that.
Yeah,
Arguably, his hair gets even cooler from
That's
from
fair.
this strength training. But I guess this is the new thing. I guess someone's got to go out there and really put this workout routine to the test. And
There's people that did it on YouTube.
I've seen
and
some
stuff.
videos, yeah, on YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean,
just
dude,
don't
that's
run.
that's hard.
Dude,
The
100
hardest,
push-ups is a lot.
100 push-ups is a lot. I think that's probably, for me, I think it'll be the easiest. 100
The run
squats,
would be the fucking worst.
the run
Yeah.
would be the hardest. Dude,
The
10
run would murder
kilometers,
me.
that's nothing to sneeze at. That's like 7 miles.
Yeah, I was gonna say, help us Americans out here. What is that?
Dude,
7
that's
miles?
way too much per
I mean,
every
like-
day.
Like, I guess if you split it up, but then you'd have to like split everything else up. Like, it's a lot.
He's probably working out. What do you think? Like 4 hours minimum a day?
6.2 miles. That's
Yeah.
way too much for me to just start with. My shins would be busted after the first
Shins,
day.
He's-
forget that. Your
He's
lungs
spending 4
will
hours
collapse.
a day, at least working out. Which
Wakes up
He's
and he's
getting after it.
hustling.
He's not, I mean, he's in the hospital, so
again,
he
still
has really
so
nothing else to
worth
do.
it. So worth it though.
Yeah.
But of course, Sung opts not to participate in this. He's
Yeah, he just rolls over.
like, someone's playing a joke on me. Yeah, like this is a fucking joke. But
Uh,
yeah,
sure.
the timer goes up and he's transported to a desert wasteland where he needs to survive 4 hours against gigantic desert centipedes.
Which is way, he definitely ran way longer than 10 kilometers.
Oh my god, in that punishment alone. Oh yeah, easily.
Running for 4 hours straight. I mean, he easily probably went like 15 to 20 miles.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I would
And-
die.
Like, it's still so surprising that he survives as an E rank against those fucking centipedes, but plot armor starts to kick in a little bit
Potential. It's got
here.
potential.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he visits. Not that it's important because I don't think they interact, right? I think she just visits and is kind of just watching him do his exercises.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. Like, why didn't she just go down there and like say hi?
Yeah, who knows?
Who
She's
cares?
traumatized.
She's shy.
Yeah. But he does come to realize that beating the daily rewards or beating the daily quest will generate him 3 rewards. 1 is full recovery, 2 is 3 ability points, and 3 is a random loot box. All those numbers were fucking with my head a little bit. And 3 is a random loot box. And this is where things are just so fucking fun for us as viewers
Yeah.
and just imagining things, because Sung Jin Woo is looking at 3 screens essentially. One is his ability screen, which he can generate or distribute his ability points for either strength, agility, perception, vitality, and intelligence. He has a skill and inventory screen as well on the side, so we know he's going to be getting skills at some point. He might have his inventory filled with maybe a weapon that he carries, but other than that, this is where it's like a game, man. This is
Oh my
the
God.
most fun part about
I literally remember
the story.
reading this for the first time and being like, fuck, this is so cool. Like, I
Yeah.
can't wait to just like watch the numbers and the
Yep.
skills get developed and like unlocking new skills and like building the inventory, like all that shit. It's just like
this
so
is the
fun.
best part of the whole story, without a doubt, is this system. It's the
so
system. It's the system.
And then
I don't
pure
know.
strength build. Pure strength build out
Yeah, I
of
was
it,
gonna-
Dave
that-
Tall to build.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you guys, is where would you guys go? I think definitely fuck vitality. Who gives a shit about health? I think that has to do with like health, something like that maybe.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't spend any points there.
I honestly would distribute it pretty evenly. I think
I feel like I would only focus strength. and
I would do
agility.
intelligence and strength probably.
I would have to at least dabble with intelligence just to know what that felt like. Because he says when he puts the strength in, he's like, I can feel myself
Mhm.
stronger. I wonder what it would feel like to like up your intelligence rank. And
The intelligence, I
Whoa.
think, though, is like, well, I guess
Smart.
yes, it will also make him smart, but like I feel like it's more related to like how much mana he's capable
that's-
of holding.
fantastic point. So
But
It
it's
definitely
probably
helps him
more
with
to it. Yeah, I mean, it
intelligence.
definitely helps him with intelligence.
like intuition, senses, like
It's
all
well,
that
do we
shit.
know-
would be helpful from
top of
Nana.
our heads what the other ones are: stamina, vitality.
No, it's
Isn't
just
like
those 5.
dexterity one?
It's just 5. There's only the 5 that I
Christmas
saw.
check.
The only 5 that I saw were strength, agility, perception, vitality, intelligence. So perception, I really wouldn't give a fuck about, to be honest.
I probably would have definitely dabbled in some agility.
I would do agility and
I'd,
strength, probably just those 2, just jam them up so high.
Oh, that's what it was. I would definitely do agility, strength, and intelligence. Those 3, and I feel like I'd be like the best.
You would literally just be what we're we'd be heading down the same path as a certain someone. We won't give that away.
I feel like, to be honest, yeah, I would maybe do
just, that's what like Sung's whole thing is
agility.
like
I feel
those
like
3.
agility and vitality would be the ones, because I feel like I would totally be scared at the start. To be like, I need a
Boo.
bigger health
Yeah.
bar because all I know is getting my ass kicked.
Not a
Well,
bad idea.
Dude, my 3 stats would whoop your 3 stats.
Nah, I could last longer and I could dodge.
Can
You'd
you
be,
last longer?
yep, yeah. You'd be lumbering around.
Going on, so he opens the random box, and that gives him a key, which will open up a instant dungeon somewhere in Japan. Sung then, once he has the strength, is able to visit his own mother in the hospital, and we get a little bit more of the backstory of her reasons for being in the hospital. One day, she just randomly fell into an internal sleep known as final rest, which is a disease that came into existence with the appearance of gates. It's just when your body is continually exposed to mana. I guess it just kind of gives out on you, and you're put into this eternal sleep. And she is a victim of one of them. And it's I think they said one in several 10,000 or something like that.
Yeah,
So it's a
yeah,
very small number, but she is afflicted with it.
yeah.
Uh,
Not a ton to say here. But obviously, this is fairly, we'll say, tropey, maybe.
yeah.
But I like where that storyline ends up going, and it just adds that dimension of inspiration, the reason why
Mhm.
he's gonna, get up and do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, run 10 kilometers beyond just wanting to not get dumped into a desert with a bunch of poison centipedes.
Yeah.
So I like that they're just building that part out of him.
Yeah, and I just like the aspect of how it's, the gates appeared 10 years ago, and it's not just good effects and hunters are born and you can harvest all these resources inside of the gates. There's
Yeah.
also these severe negative consequences with them. And so I think it just helps build the world a little bit. Yeah, it's a little tropey that, main character's mom is sick, slash dead kind of, and leads to that trope, but I think it's fine. Like you said, it's totally good story going forward. But yeah, now there's the time he says goodbye to his mom, not knowing where this dungeon is going to take him. But he does enter this instant dungeon, which he determines is a separate dimension from his own.
Because
Quick,
the chick walked through the door, pretty much.
yeah, it still takes place in the world, but
It's not the same as the dungeons we've seen so far, right? Like it's not like a whole new layout. It seemed to actually
right.
take place in the subway, except it was
And you don't have a way of
parallel.
and you don't have a way of determining the dungeon strength either. Usually,
Mm,
when a gate appears, you can
that's a good point.
determine its strength, but he has to go in blind, which is one of the main issues for him. But as he enters, he's quickly met with three goblins, and to his own surprise, he does take them down quickly, but not so easily, I would say. He's still kind of feeling a little weak, which I guess blame him. He's still getting used to the new strength that he's finding, but he took that knife damage from the goblin. I'm like, come on, bro. What is all this training for?
I mean, yeah, it's one thing to have the stats. It's another thing, I think, to be in the heat of battle. So he's just
Yeah,
fucking
that's
cutting his
actually a great
teeth,
way to put
baby.
it. No, that's
Iron
a great way to
sharpens
put it.
iron.
Yeah.
Iron sharpens iron.
He fucks up those goblins. He definitely
And he
does.
likes it too. He likes it. He likes
Yeah,
to
he
feel.
loves feeling powerful,
Yeah,
and I
he
wouldn't
totally
blame him either.
does.
But
He totally
shortly
does.
after, a steel-fanged lichen appears. Did the
Like
goblins? Do you know if they did it show like the name over the
Yep.
goblins? What color was the name?
It wasn't red.
Okay, was
I
it
think
just
it
like
was
grayed
yellow.
out or yeah,
It was
yellow? Okay,
yellow. Yeah.
okay.
red is legit.
Yeah, they'll talk about that in the next episode, so it's not really, I think, a spoiler to bring it up here, or they'll get to it
Yeah.
eventually. It's not a terrible
I
big
think
spoiler.
anybody who's watching the show noticed that it was red versus the goblins. Like
I
I
hope
would
so.
pick
I
that
mean,
one.
I feel like early on when he like is transported to the desert, I feel like you're maybe not paying attention too much. It does appear in red. The centipedes maybe in like a dark, deep red. I don't think you really are to note that, but I think because you see the goblins in yellow, I think that should give some inclinations on what
Definitely.
that implies. And I think a lot of people play, like a lot of our listeners play World of Warcraft. It's the same fucking thing in World of Warcraft, where if
Mm.
it's if it's within 3 levels, it's yellow. If it's within five or more, it's red. So it's the same kind of premise there. But before we wrap this up, the last quick scene that we get in the kind of in the middle of this episode is just we're at the Hunters Guild, which is Troy's guild, the pink-haired man. He asks Hache in if she would be the next B-rate instructor to train the new recruits of the Hunters Guild. Um, again, this is a new scene for us. Not don't really have many comments on it. The only thing that we get here really is Choi talking about the Hunters Guild, saying that it's a top 5 guild in the country, but internationally, it's a nobody. Um,
It was a good way to
So
introduce like that idea.
yeah, just something for people
just-
to like,
Yeah,
just
it's
pencil in the
intriguing.
back of their head is that like internationally these gates are a problem. Like it's not just in this country alone. It's an international thing.
Yeah. And it's just, I mean, are we going to meet the other 4 guilds? What about these top rank international guilds that make this guild that clearly has an S rank? Hunter that has this guy who's the leader
Two
who
rank,
seems to
two
be,
S rank.
yeah, the guy, I mean, we saw him a little bit in action in episode 1. So I think they're doing a good job of expanding the world, but not like going at it like too fast so that you can't really grasp all of it. I feel like you're coming away from these 3 episodes and you like understand a lot of main concepts in the world. It's not like too much and it's all interesting. So
Mhm.
I think is an important distinction that we should make to those watching and listening. There's a Hunters Guild and there's a Hunters Association.
Yeah, the Hunters Guild is the
yeah,
guild
they
The
where
weren't.
guild.
hunters, yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it's
they weren't
weird.
very imaginative when they made that up.
The Hunters
That's
Association would look over the Hunters Guild for those
Yeah.
listening. The Hunters Association is just the one that overlooks all the guilds. I think.
Yeah.
But I think we've
we
only
got
been introduced
to the White Tiger too.
which the leader of that guild we saw at the very beginning of episode 1 on the ant
Yeah,
raid. He's the one, yeah. He's
Claws.
we got some beasts coming up, man. And I
Yeah.
think
Yeah, good stuff.
the next time you hear from us, we're going to be 2 more episodes in, and I think just fire from there. I don't think we can expect anything to slow down anytime soon.
I said at the top, we're past the point of no return already. Like we're 3 episodes in and there's no stopping it. Like we're going downhill and we're going to go, I mean, uphill, I guess, but in terms of speed, downhill fast and recklessly and awesomely and gruesomely and badassly and every fucking positive, entertaining adjective I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
It's
Do we
fantastic stuff.
feel the need to have? I guess there's maybe a couple things I'll bring up. So right now we're going to head into our spoiler-filled portion of this discussion. So we'll give a couple seconds for everyone to leave the room a little bit here. And
if you're watching on YouTube and you see us like looking down on our phones, it's because Joel Embiid has 65
Yes.
points.
Yeah.
Thank you for fucking. I wanted to apologize to you guys after he put up 65. Bro, he had 59
It's still
through
happening.
3
It's
quarters.
literally
Yeah.
still happening. He's
59 through
66 now.
3 quarters.
he's
It's
at
literally
24
currently
in the
happening.
first quarter, 34 in the
So.
second half.
He's gonna drop 70 tonight.
Let's go Sixers, baby.
All right, so let's wrap up this spoiler talk quick so we can watch him drop 70.
Yeah, the only thing I really want to talk about, I guess, is the system, and I just because we were talking about like where we would distribute our points and things like that, and Alki was saying, oh, like I would distribute them strength, agility, and intelligence, which legitimately I think is what Sung Jin Woo prioritizes those 3, and that's what gets him the Necromancer class. I think this kind of goes into what we were talking about at the beginning, where we were kind of talking about spoilers, where I just think in terms of when people leaving, like I think the Shadow Monarch just knew that people were going to leave. Like I think he just knew that no one would prove their faith.
They were weak enough where you presented them with that option, they were going to take it.
Yes, and I think that's what separates. Like I'm sure, like if 2 of them stayed, maybe something would have happened, but I don't think both of them are
Like a
getting
battle royale to the death.
maybe, but I don't think both of them are getting the powers. Essentially, is what I'm saying. Like I think
No, definitely not.
I think just because the Monarch knew how this was going to play out, like he scouted Sung Jin Woo, knew that he was going to be the only one to just stick it out. I think that was. I don't think there should have ever been a discussion, I guess, is what I'm saying about, oh, what if 2 people stayed behind? Like I just don't think that was ever an option.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
No, wasn't going to happen.
Definitely not, but you have to wonder, I guess, like anything's possible. And if you, I don't know, because at the end, the way it all ends with, like, am I allowed to go this deep?
Yeah.
Like the way it all ends with him like redoing it 50,000 times. Like there is a possibility, I suppose, like what if one of those times 2 of them stayed? You know what I'm
that
saying?
might have fucked up a lot of the plans.
Yeah, you know what I'm
that
saying?
Probably set him back, but
Yeah.
I think in the next episode, are we gonna get the snake at the end of it, the basilisk? Do you think, or do you think it's just gonna be him
Yeah.
fighting the wolves?
I
So
would
what
hope it's
what
the
happens in this
best.
dungeon? Like
He fights the wolves, gets the title of the Wolf Slayer, which he can equip, which gives him
Sick.
+20 attack
It's
against
like
bees.
sick.
Yeah, it's so cool. And then
Sick.
once he fights those things, he kind of keeps going down the dungeon because it hasn't disappeared yet. Feels a presence down there, and he's like, "Ah, shit, that thing's strong, but we got to test out our strength." And it's the basilisk, and
He
he'll reap
gets
the rewards.
yeah. What is it? What's the reward? Does he get a blade from it?
He gets a blade.
Yeah.
He gets a poison, which is
Yeah.
so stupid because the poison that he gets, he literally, it's only to show that he's immune to poison. Like he gets the poison, he's like, "What does this do?" He like, kind of like drinks it, and it's like, "Oh, your
Yeah.
powers allow you to not feel the poison." And it's like,
He can
okay,
get
well,
drunk too. That's so funny when that happens.
yeah. So a lot to look forward to. Any final comments from you guys so we can get the Sixers game in?
No, I
How
just
does
can't
he
wait
get
to
the dagger?
With dagger.
The one he uses. He had it, I
I'm
guess.
assuming I was thinking the same thing. So I think that's just the one that he's had, or maybe he bought a new shitty one because I know for a fact he's gonna pull out the dude's sword, Mr. Sung's sword at some point. That's in his inventory. Like this dagger is gonna break, and he's gonna say, okay.
And then he looks in his inventory and it's
And I
there.
think, and then Mr. Song's
The
sword,
guy who lost his arm.
but then that'll break too at some point, or if
Doesn't
this
he use one of the teeth eventually? A tooth of something
it's
for
the
his-
Rasaka's I think the beast's name is Rasaka or something, and the weapon's name is Rasaka's Fang.
Yeah, that's why. Okay.
That's what you're thinking of. But
Bro, oh, this shit
We're
gets
gonna be-
banger. You guys think the power is the best? I think his necromancing is the best, which I guess is his power, but I think the necromancing is the
I think
best.
just the aspect of the fact that he's just able to distribute his skill points and just reap the benefits of it just right away. And
67.
I know wow. I
Career
know we're
high,
trying
man. I
to
love
I
it.
know we're trying to wrap this up. But now that we're in the spoiler mode, like I really can't think of a place to cut like this like how the arc. Like how is the arc until you get to the ants? There's no real arc.
No, there's no like arcs, I would say.
Yeah.
It's just kind of
I
like
mean, there's
he
different
beats
like challenges built in.
yeah, that's what it is.
True.
It's just they're kind of just like that. It's just boss after boss after boss. Like it'll be this thing, and then I think he fights the brother of the S rank hero and kills
Yeah, I was
him, and
gonna
then
say,
that
like,
arc begins.
the red gate. Maybe they end at the red.
And then and then he fights the other assassin, the guy that we just met in episode 2.
Yeah, I'm just 12, man. That's
I know, I don't-
fucked up.
Okay, so one last thing we can try and guess is where do you think season 1, knowing that it's only 12 episodes, is going to end then?
Probably like right when he lifts the first person, right?
Oh, that would suck. I think we're definitely getting the Idris fight. Like that has to happen season 1.
Yeah.
It might legitimately be
Or maybe when he isn't his first guy the shield guy.
no, he gets resurrected.
No,
Like
he gets that guy from the red gate because that's like a human that he resurrects.
It's the first human that he
The
resurrects.
Red Gate is the whole Che introduction, right?
The red gate is when
Yes.
he's in like the snow, with the
And
snow
that's what
elves.
the guy was talking about in this episode, right?
Yeah, he mentions the red gate in this episode.
Well, he said this B-level gate. That's it, right? No.
Oh,
no.
oh yeah, no, that's it. No,
Is
no, he is right because they don't know it's a red gate. Like they're just like, okay,
Mm.
It turns red after they
yeah,
go in,
walk
right?
in. Yes, so that is what I wanted to kind of bring up too in this. That's what I forgot. That's what I wanted to bring up here. Is that
Oh, he got
We get-
70 and just got subbed out. I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but I just
that's
watched
such a shame. At least he got 70 though. First career high, baby. We
He got
subbed out.
70?
it. Yeah, subbed out, standing ovation.
Dude,
Literally
70
dapping up
is
every single person on the bench
What,
right
the
now.
third or fourth highest of all time?
Yeah.
It's
Booker
against
Booker
against
just had 71
Booker.
a couple years ago, right?
who did? Oh,
Devin Booker.
fuck him.
Yeah,
He got it
Kobe
against
has
wet
one.
bananas though.
Kobe
Wembanyama.
has one.
Kobe has 81.
Yeah, well, I mean, that counts as a 70-point game, though.
I'm looking it up right now. Wilt, Kobe, Wilt again at 78. This is going to be.
Wilt again.
I mean, Wilt's
Classic.
literally 6 of the top 12, maybe 7 of the top 12 games. But Joel Embiid will be
Crazy.
tied at number 12 with
70.
Wilt Chamberlain and Devin Booker.
Did
70.
Devin Booker not have 71? How many did David
I'm
Robinson
thinking of
get?
Damian Lillard and Damian Mitchell both had 71 last.
Oh my
year.
God!
Damian
Wasn't that on the
Lillard?
same night too,
It
Was
was
that-
on the same
Oh,
night. I think
shit,
it was on
you're
the
so-
same night.
or maybe
So
Devin
right.
Booker's was.
It was
one
within-
of them.
Devin
Two people
Booker's
did
was
it
a
on the
few
same
years
night, or in
ago.
this, or like 2 days ago. Yeah, or
Devin
like
Booker's
within a
was
day of
like
each other.
years ago now.
Yeah,
Yeah, the one in that was 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Joel
Uh,
had like a 63-point game last season, I think.
No, his highest has been 59 until like now, right?
I think it was 60. I think he did break 60 one time.
I think he had one last year.
Bro, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, there's just a long list of people tied
I
up.
would love. I can't wait to watch the highlights. He's probably muscling that bitch boy everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. All
All
right. All right. All right. Any
Play
final
us
thoughts?
out, Dave.
Yeah.
Play us out.
All right, that's going to be it for today's episode coverage of Solo Leveling. If you like what you heard, give Bingetown TV a follow on all of our socials at Bingetown TV on X, Insta, YouTube, the works. Definitely check out our Discord as well. That'll be located in the episode description down below for all of you. Lastly, for all of our podcast catalog of all the episodes that we've covered in a nice, neat, organized fashion, you can check out our website, bingetowntv.com. And if I didn't say it enough, once again, we are Bingetown TV, and thanks for listening.
10, 9, 8, 76.
76ers.
All right.